Politicians may be some of the most hated people on the face of the earth. What with all the corruption and the lies, it's easy to forget that these are people sometimes. People with wants. People with needs and desires that need to be met. And while this is an industry that isn't particularly rife with sex appeal, I've managed to find 10 of the most rootable politicians in Australia. Kicking off our list at number 10 for the Labor Party is Dr. Anna Lee, who honestly only made the list because her name sounds like Anally, and I thought that was pretty amusing. Coming in at number 9, we've got Milton Dick. And if there's anyone's dick on here, you should be milking it. It's Milton's. Look at that smile. That's the smile of a man who'd sell you a used car and then bang you in the back seat of it. Coming in at number 8 on our list, it's the unbridled Mustang that is Craig Kelly. Honestly, could just imagine the sensation of taking Craig home and letting him rest his stomach on the small of your back as he plows you. Also, looks a little bit like Scully if you like doppelgangers. Speaking of lookalikes, in at number 7 we have Joanne Ryan. Don't you think she looks a little bit like that old bloke from Up? If you've ever wanted to know what it'd be like to root Carl Fredrickson if he was trans, look no further than the square jaw of Joanne Ryan. Number 6 on our list is for all those blokes who were disappointed when Magda Szubanski came out as a lesbian because they knew she was off the market. Well, I'll give you Meryl Swanson. She could be Magda's exact twin. If only there was a bed frame big enough to support a threesome with these two. That's the type of infrastructure I think we should be invested in. At number 5 we have George Christensen, who looks an awful lot like Peter Griffin, and surely that's good enough to pull a few roots. At number 4 is the round mound of pound, Mr. Rob Mitchell. Here's how I imagine a date with Rob would go. He'd pick you up about 8, and then you'd hit the local Macca's drive-thru, not once, but twice. Then you'd sit in the car park and eat together, and just wait and see if he's not too tuckered out to finger you. And if that doesn't sound like a good time to you, I'd say you're un-Australian and there's just no pleasing you. Starting off our top 3, we've got Melissa Price. Mel is an absolute beauty to gaze upon at the best of times, let alone when she's doing a culturally insensitive but spot-on Asian impersonation. Honestly, look, she's not even doing the fingers or nothing, that's just... you can't teach that. Modest by name and by nature at number 2 is Mr. Ian Goodenough. Modesty isn't a trait too commonly associated with politicians, but Mr. Goodenough's name ever speaks to an extreme case of modesty or an extreme case of poor self-esteem. But seeing as how his favourite 2 pies are humble and cream, I dare say it's the former. Well Ian, you're good enough for this list mate, in fact, you're number 2. Before I unveil number 1 on the list, if you've made it this far through the video, if you could hit that like button, it'd be much appreciated. At number 1 on our list, it's the bad girl of Australian politics, it's Gladys Buryyadickin. That's right, she's corrupt and she don't give a fuck. Have a look at the beak on her. Nobody's going to turn that down. If you turn that down, you're turning down your only chance you'd ever have to fuck a nostril. Plus, we know she roots. So there you have it. That's the top 10 sexiest politicians in Australia. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my list, or if not, who you would have added. And until next time, if it makes your dick feel big, do it.